Life sometimes presents such scenarios that you can hardly believe they're real. In the small town of Sand Lake, fate brought Marty Duram and Glenna Johnson together in the 80s. Marty was a year older than 16-year-old Glenna, and from their first meeting, a relationship sparked between them. Their romance lasted about a year, after which the young people went their separate ways. Glenna married Bob, who was 5 years older than her, and soon gave birth to 2 children. In 1991, Marty married Christina. Like in any marriage, they had quarrels, but overall their union was remarkably strong. In the first year of married life, Christina gave her husband their first child, and later gave birth to 2 more. But April 10, 1995, became a turning point in Marty and Christina's life. Returning home from the factory, Marty was driving through the intersection on a green light. Suddenly, he felt a crushing impact and lost consciousness. The truck almost destroyed his small car. The ambulance crew arrived at the accident site instantaneously and managed to extract Marty from the mangled vehicle. His injuries were so severe that they damaged both lungs. A broken pelvis, serious traumatic brain injuries, and a shattered jaw created a devastating picture. On the way to the hospital, Marty even experienced clinical death. For about 2 minutes he was literally dead, but the medics managed to resuscitate him. Several weeks he remained in a coma. When Marty finally regained consciousness, his memory was partially lost. The gaps were so significant that it took him several days to realize that Christina was his wife. The road to recovery was long and arduous. For a grueling 18 months, Marty Duram put in serious work at the rehab center before he could somewhat reclaim his life. He still struggled with chronic pain and walked with a noticeable limp on his right side, but physically, he'd made a comeback. Mentally, something was off. His close circle, especially his wife Christina, noticed the change immediately. Marty wasn't the same guy anymore. He'd become withdrawn, less jovial, and weirdly controlling towards Christina. The spark that defined their marriage had vanished. Unsurprisingly, they called it quits in 1997. In 2001, Marty took a significant step forward. Using insurance money from the accident and a bank loan, he snagged a house in Sand Lake. This was huge for him, his first real home, a chance to reset his life. He moved in with his 2 boys, Justin and Jacob, and his loyal Parrot, Bud. Talk about unexpected twists, this fresh start would reconnect him with an old flame. As fate would have it, his ex-girlfriend Glenna Johnson was also divorced at the time. They quickly rekindled their relationship, and within months, Glenna was living with Marty. They were the definition of an outdoorsy couple. Fishing, hunting, long walks watching the autumn leaves change, they were inseparable. In 2005, they made it official and got married. From the outside, they looked perfectly happy. By 2015, they'd been married a decade. And then things got weird. On May 12, 2015, a concerned friend who hadn't been able to reach them for over 24 hours decided to stop by their place. The house looked eerily deserted. All doors and windows were sealed shut, with zero response to repeated calls. The woman initially retreated but returned the next day, more determined. Surprisingly, the door handle turned easily, it was unlocked. Stepping inside, she heard a dog barking, which guided her towards the bedroom. The scene that greeted her was horrific. Marty and Glenna lay motionless on the floor, surrounded by a spreading pool of dark blood. Completely rattled, she bolted from the house. Spotting a fire truck nearby, she frantically explained the gruesome discovery to the firefighters, who immediately dispatched police. The forensic details were chilling. Marty had been shot 4 times, 3 bullets to the chest, 1 to the shoulder. Glenna bore a single gunshot wound to the head. Police spent about an hour meticulously examining the crime scene, methodically documenting every detail. As a routine final check, an officer decided to verify the victim's vital signs. The discovery was shocking. Glenna was still alive. She was rushed to the hospital, where she immediately slipped into a coma, her condition critically unstable. Marty, in stark contrast, was definitively deceased. The crime scene revealed no signs of forced entry, a critical investigative detail. Bullet casings were scattered on the bed, but the most significant piece of evidence lay beneath the couch, a revolver, matching the caliber used in the shootings. All signs pointed to this being the murder weapon. The investigation was just beginning, and the mystery of what happened in that Sand Lake home was about to unfold. The revolver's casual placement was baffling, almost as if deliberately left for investigators to find. As the case unfolded, police began interviewing potential witnesses, starting with Marty's son, Justin. During questioning, Justin revealed a startling detail. Marty and Glenna were selling painkillers. Following a severe accident, Marty had been prescribed powerful pain medication. What seemed innocuous on the surface was actually a dangerous side hustle involving medical narcotics, specifically opioids. The prescription system made these drugs valuable. Marty would obtain opioids legally, take minimal doses for his chronic pain, and sell the remainder to recreational users. It was an illegal and risky operation that could potentially motivate someone to commit murder. Investigators initially pursued this angle aggressively. However, the drug-dealing theory quickly hit a dead end. No concrete evidence supported their hypothesis. Meanwhile, another explosive revelation emerged about Glenna's personal struggles. Unbeknownst to Marty, Glenna battled a severe gambling addiction. Her casino losses were staggering. In 2010 alone, she had squandered $74,000. This wasn't just occasional betting. It was a compulsive, destructive habit that was secretly draining their finances. The magnitude of her gambling suggested potential additional motives or complications in their relationship that hadn't yet been uncovered. The investigation was becoming increasingly complex, with multiple potential threads to explore. The gambling debt theory gained traction. Perhaps Glenna had entangled herself with dangerous creditors, owing significant money. The fact that $2,000 was missing from their home only fueled speculation. Was this a random robbery or a targeted hit? Questioning Glenna seemed crucial, but her condition complicated matters. After being shot in the head, she remained in a prolonged coma. 4 months, doctors strictly prohibited detectives from interviewing her. When they finally gained access, an unexpected obstacle emerged. Glenna suffered complete memory loss about the day of the shooting. Detectives were stuck. Every lead had fizzled out. Then, an extraordinary witness stepped forward, one who had been present in the room during the crime. Remember Bud, Marty's African gray parrot? After Marty's death, Christina, his first wife, had taken him in. African greys are renowned for their exceptional intelligence, with cognitive abilities comparable to a small child. Their vocabulary and mimicry skills far exceed those of other parrot species. Christina soon noticed something peculiar. Each morning, Bud would reproduce the same conversation, an argument between two people. The parrot would switch between male and female voices, ultimately ending with a chilling phrase, "Don't shoot."
No! Get your over there now! No! Shut up when you're no! No!
While the parrot couldn't legally serve as a witness, Bud's consistent reenactment was intriguing. The mimicked conversation always occurred around 6 in the morning, precisely when Marty was believed to have been killed. For those who knew the couple, it was clear Bud was reproducing their actual argument, culminating in the chilling words "Don't shoot." Detectives developed a groundbreaking hypothesis. What if Glenna had shot Marty, and her own wound was a suicide attempt? Evidence emerged supporting this theory when Marty's children discovered an envelope containing multiple suicide notes. One letter to her children read, "I'm so sorry, but I love you. and I'm sorry I've been a disappointment for the last 12 years. Please forgive me. You are one of the best things I've ever created. Love, Mom. The letter to her ex-husband was equally poignant. I'm sorry for what I messed up. Please stay here for our beautiful children and grandchildren when they come. Love, Glenna. What could drive a woman to murder her husband and then attempt suicide? The answer lay in Glenna's catastrophic gambling addiction. She managed household finances but had been systematically destroying their economic stability. Recently discovered documents revealed a critical detail. Glenna had been deliberately ignoring mortgage payments on Marty's house. The bank had sent a foreclosure notice, a document found torn up among her personal belongings. Her gambling had pushed them to the financial brink, threatening to strip away everything they'd built together. The plot was thickening, revealing layers of desperation beneath the surface. During the interrogation, the investigator questioned Glenna about the events related to the incident. Glenna claimed she didn't remember anything about the incident, except that she woke up and started looking for her husband. The investigator pointed out facts that, in his opinion, indicated Glenna's involvement: a gun from the home safe and searches for information about weapons on her phone. Glenna denied searching for such information. The investigator suggested that there might have been an argument over money or another issue. Glenna insisted on her innocence, emphasizing that her husband meant everything to her. When the investigator asked if she had tried to harm herself, Glenna emotionally rejected this suggestion, repeating that she couldn't have killed her husband because he was the only close person in her life. Glenna was desperately hiding their financial catastrophe from Marty. Perhaps he discovered the truth on the day of his death, a breaking point where her secrets could no longer remain concealed. Unsurprisingly, she vehemently denied murdering her husband. However, compelling evidence mounted against her. Despite Glenna's denials, forensic handwriting analysis confirmed the suicide notes were unquestionably written by her. The most damning piece of evidence was the revolver, bearing exclusively her fingerprints. No other prints were found. Most chillingly, her phone records revealed search queries on the day of the murder specifically about operating the exact revolver model used to kill Marty. The digital trail painted a premeditated picture. The mysterious missing $2,000 was quickly explained through a misunderstanding. Marty's children had actually removed the money themselves the day after the murder, without informing police. Law enforcement had initially assumed the funds were stolen. On June 24, 2016, Glenna Johnson was arrested. Her trial in 2017 was swift and decisive. The prosecution methodically presented the suicide notes, evidence of their dire financial situation, and the forensic proof linking her directly to the murder. After just 2 days of deliberation, the jury reached a unanimous verdict: life imprisonment. The case was officially closed, entering criminal folklore as the Parrot case, a murder mystery solved through the unexpected testimony of an African gray parrot named Bud. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the next video.